everyone, it's Cindy and welcome back to Studioloo. So I want to start a new series with a few, I don't know how many episodes, but a few. And for the next while I'll be making some videos that are kind of sort of puttered between other videos that I make randomly, and I'm going to be calling this series the Stitcher's Habadashery. So I'm thinking about doing some stitching, sewing related journals, and I just want to play with a few different ideas for types of ephemera that I want to make. So this is episode 1, and it's going to be about using measuring tapes. In my case today, I only have this one measuring tape. I know I have some more in my stash, but I'm not looking to use those today. I just want to do a couple of simple ideas thinking about sewing related ephemera. So first thing I have is just a piece of kind of thicker paper here. And I'm going to be making a tag, I think. And I want to make use of both fabric and the measuring tape. So at first I thought I was going to use this fabric, but now I'm not so sure because I'm like, is that an okay color together? I definitely don't like the red with it, but I might do something different. And I think I will work maybe in the same color themes. So I have this pink fabric, and I think I'm going to work with that instead. It's just a little nicer to look at. And I think I like it better with this, maybe. Actually, can a girl change her mind again? Oh gosh. I should just like start this video over, but I'm not going to because, you know, if you're here, you've dealt with my indecision before and you'll be okay. Gray. I want gray. Yes, gray. Okay, so I'm going to just use my fabric scissors to cut this down, which are over here. Okay, so first I'll just cut the edge off of this. This was a napkin. It's linen napkin. And I'll just cut the bottom as well, I think. Actually, I might leave the bottom. How thick is that? It's not too thick. Okay, so I just want to get a piece of fabric that's about the same size as this. It doesn't have to be perfect because I can trim it afterward. Okay. So the next thing that I want to do is just glue up this piece of paper. I'm going to just trim this one little edge off, I think. Okay. So I'll just glue this. Make sure there's no problems on either side of the fabric, and there isn't. So I think I'll try to glue this down to this bottom piece so that I do get that cool edging at the bottom. I think actually before I cut it, I'm going to just maybe I'll cut the tag shape and then I will stitch it. So let's do that first. Just because when there's thin edges around fabric like this and you start to cut, you can kind of peel them up and that's no fun. Okay. So just one moment while I stitch this. Okay, and we're back. And this has been stitched all around, so now I'm just going to go ahead and trim the strings, threads, and the fabric excess off the sides. I think I need to get like a hybrid pair of scissors that I don't mind cutting paper and fabric with, because like maybe an older pair of fabric scissors, because trying to use these ones to cut anything fabric is kind of Oof, even worse. Let's use these little ones. These are better. Let's try to even that out again. Okay. Oh, that took a while. Cutting problems. Okay, so now we just have this nice gray base, gray tag base, and I'm just going to snip a little more off here. There. And then I'm just literally going to use the measuring tape as like an embellishment on here. So I'm going to do some strips across. And then I'm going to maybe weave at the bottom, I think. So let me grab Fabri-Tac. I think that would be the better thing to attach this with. And while that is doing its thing, I'm just going to set it in this washi tape to just come to the bottom. So now I'll decide on the length that I want this to be. Yeah, but there. I don't know if I should do it all the way to the top. No, I'll do it sort of down a little bit. Oh, we still have an air bubble. Come on. Okay. This one. Then maybe this one. I apologize if you can hear my kids running around upstairs, but this is the loud house. Maybe on this end I will just do something a little different, like cut a notch into this side. And you can get all sorts of different kinds of measuring tapes. You can get fabric measuring tape. You could actually stamp your own as well with number stamps. Okay. So with this series, I feel like I'm just imagining like literally like a haberdashery, like a store just full of all sorts of different kinds of buttons and threads and all sorts of magical things. So that's where my brain is kind of going with this. So I think what I want to do down here is just kind of a bit of a messy weave. And I need a few more pieces here. So, trying to think about how to best accomplish this. Because what I want to do, actually maybe that is the best way to accomplish. So I'll just start by putting my first kind of warp thread down, or my warp tape in this case, and then glue this one across it just a little bit. Then I think this one will go underneath, so I can glue the edge of it. You just don't want to go past like more than one step, right? Because if you do, then you won't be able to weave. So just attach one step at a time. So now we've got that, and then the next one would go on top. So we can glue this part down, then put a little glue at the edge of this one, because this will go on top. I'm going to leave a little bit of space in between, because I really love yellow and gray together. It's just really nice. And this one will go under. Okay, so now we're ready for the next warp thread or tape. I'm so used to saying thread because of weaving. So then this will go here, and I'm going to just make it a little lower. I'm purposely trying to make this a little bit wonky looking, not wonky, but like a little irregular. So then weaving the next one under, just pop a little glue underneath both of them, and they can glue down. And then this one will go underneath both again, and this is on top this time. Okay, just reinforce it here. Pull this up. It's a little bit fiddly, but actually not too bad once you get going. Okay. And then we're ready for another piece of tape. Actually, I'm going to make that one a little longer, and then one a little shorter. This one will be the short one, I think. Yeah. So it's going to start by being underneath. So a dot of glue and a dot of glue. Okay. Then that one will be on top. 2 more dots of glue. Just straighten it out here. Then we need to go underneath again. So weaving is under, over, under, over. Okay. We can just glue that end all the way down now because we are finished with this line. Okay, and then we have one more of these, and it's going to start by being over, and I'm going to have it be a little higher than the rest here. Maybe a little further out as well. So we will glue this to here, and then we can glue this one all the way down because now we know we don't have any more tapes that we're going to be putting across. So that can go all the way down. This is going to go on top. Just most important thing I think is just to try to stay straight if you can. It will give a more effective look to your weave. Then we have to pull this one up, glue on the back of both. This. There we go. Perfect. Now these two can get glued all the way down because no more tapes are coming this way. And the last one is this one, so we can glue these two down. Okay. So just give it kind of a press and just give it a moment to kind of set up. I'm trying to decide if I'd want to maybe do like a loop at the top here with the tape. I think I do. And I'm probably going to stitch that on. Yeah. Give me one moment. So this has been all glued down. I think here you can decide if you want to leave these hanging long or if you want to trim them. I think because this is a tag, I will go ahead and just trim the bottom to be even, just because it will make things much easier when you're slipping this into the pocket of something, of a pocket of a journal. And then I'll just go around the edge a little bit and neaten up where there's a little paper still kind of showing. Just cutting kind of on an angle to get rid of the backing paper that I can still kind of see. I did not fully trim it as close as I should have. There we go. All right. So there's tag number 1. Now, the other thing that I wanted to try doing was, again, another weaving technique. I want to make a journal card this time. And I want to weave with both this and some pink lace. And I think that would look really cool. This is like a vintage flexi lace from Corticelli. You can find these often here in thrift stores. And the other thing that I should mention is when you get things like this at thrift stores, save the packaging because it's vintage and it's really pretty usually. And you can make some nice ephemera from it. Get rid of that crinkly because this is really cool. Like, you could make a pocket with that. Yeah. Maybe we'll even make a pocket with this today for the fun of it. Who knows? So the first thing I want to do, though, is this is just a simple white piece of cardstock. I'm going to double it up. It's actually not cardstock. It's like, actually, it's like lightweight cardstock. Like, very lightweight. So I'm just going to double it up. And then I think as a backing, I'm going to put a bit of vintage book page or newspaper or something. Inevitably something from my scraps, so it's going to be newspaper. And I mostly want just text in the background. Nothing too too overwhelming. So we won't see it really anyways, except for the creases and cracks, but I just want to get this in here. And this is just like vintage newspaper. Unfair. We'll be covering this all up. Okay, so we're going to do the same exact kind of thing this time, but we're going to use lace and measuring tape. So I think I'll start with just cutting some pieces of the measuring tape. And this is like a vinyl tape. I got a really long one at like a really inexpensive thrift store. So 1 and 2. Okay. So I think I'm just going to start the same way by gluing this down here. Then I will need to get this old bit of tape off of this lace. Then we want this to be the length of this. So then again, you just glue your edge one edge at a time. Now hopefully you're crafting along with me here. Some of this might be a little bit repetitive just because like weaving is repeating some steps. So okay, another one. So this one has to go under, and I'm going to leave a little gap because I want to still see the newspaper. And then it's okay to just glue here as well because we will be putting that down here. Then we'll go in for the third piece of this. And this one's going to go underneath, so just have to kind of lift back up a bit here. Bit of glue. And we can glue across this. So, okay, so over, under, or sorry, under, over, under, okay. Then this one's going to go under the lace. Okay. And I know that one's upside down. I'm actually fine with that. Just want to vary it a little bit. I think that's fine. I'll bring the lace down this time. I think we need just one more piece of this tape. One, two, okay, right there. Oops. Okay. There we go. Now more lace. Just glue the back, and this one will go on top of the tape. I may have to glue the tape on. Sounds like my children are dragging chairs around upstairs. That would be the noise that you can probably hear. It has just been so cold. Like, we are struggling to stay outside for very long with my 2-year-old. He's not loving it. Even though we do bundle him up, it's been so cold. It's like -10, and that's without the wind chill, and yeah, it's just a lot right now. I'm hoping that things warm up very soon. A little bit anyways. I'm okay with, like, you know, -5 or 6. That's okay, but it's getting a little bit too cold now. Just going to continue weaving these through here. Oops, and I made a mistake. Okay, backing things up. See, I got distracted talking about the snow. Okay, under. And this goes over. Okay, now we're all right. We just got to sort of straighten this out again. This thing's got a little wonky. There we go. And you could honestly just do a bit of like cursory gluing and then stitch this whole thing. Just go straight down the lines and you would have a stitched piece as well. I'm just purposely not stitching right now so I can stay here with you and not be at the sewing machine. But I think I will go around the edges and stitch, and that will definitely hold everything in place. Okay, then I think I'll be good with just one more piece. I'll like that. Okay, so this one has to go under. So the rest of this tape I can glue down after I put this underneath. So right there. Put a little more glue on top of it, just in case I didn't get it all the way through the ribbon. Straighten back up again. Okay, so that's nice and secured down now. So then we go over this one so we can glue this one down all the way. Dab. Okay, back underneath. Oops. I'm going to refill this bottle after this video. Oh my goodness, I keep forgetting. And I know I've talked about this in multiple videos. I'm so forgetful sometimes. I just like get distracted with other things. Okay, there we go. And then down here. Oops, this one goes under. Go, go, go. You just have to straighten a little. There we go. And then the last one goes on top of this, so we can glue this right down. Lift this up. There we go. Okay. So I'm just going to give that a little bit to dry. But yeah, pretty fun. And I will trim it all up, and I think I will stitch around the edge actually. So let's just set that aside for a moment. I had another thing that I wanted to share with you. I used to make these all the time, but not for the purposes of like journals. I used to just make like beads out of measuring tape. So you know those beading wires that you can get? They're like a pin, and some of them have, I'll just do a little diagram. They just have like this kind of an end and then a long pin like that. They come in different sizes, and then some of them, they have a loop on the end and they're long like this. And you can use your round pliers, your jewelry pliers, like this. Once you've threaded beads on, you can turn, you know, and make a loop on the other end to make like a section of jewelry basically. So what I used to do is I would take a piece of tape like this, I would fold it a couple of times like this, and then I would take a needle and I would poke a hole all the way through and then stab this through there. So then you would have like this piece of fun like measuring tape ribbon. And I was trying to think about what I could do that with for a journal. So like I think about paper clips and bulb pins, and maybe safety pins would be good. And I have a big safety pin here, and I think a safety pin would be kind of cool because it's like it's also sort of, you know, stitchery, right? So why don't we just try to weave one of these on to a safety pin? Now the other thing you could do with a safety pin is, because you want to be able to open this side, is like you could just literally make something like this, like a few different edges. And maybe that's what I'll do, because if I do the threading technique on a safety pin, then it won't really be usable anymore. I won't be able to clip anything onto it. But does that matter? I don't think it really matters, because if I attach it in the journal, I can just open it again. Yeah, let's just do my original technique that I used to do all the time. So you start by just poking a hole through the center of your measuring tape and go down. Actually, don't go all the way down, because you're going to need to have a little bit of space, right, to keep poking. And don't poke your fingers, and try to stay in the center of the tape if you can, if that makes sense. And don't go too far or you're going to get a really big ruffle. It all depends how big you want your ruffle to be, I guess. I'm just going like, I guess I could exactly measure, right? Because this is a measuring tape. I'm going like 4 little points here, roughly. The important thing is to just try to stay in the middle of the measuring tape. And then with this one, we want to, use as much as we can, but we also want to leave room so that when we open this up, if we want to, attach it on a ruffle on a page, that it will still have a little room when it's opened up. So I think that's probably good. So then just do a straight cut, then push it down, close your pin, and just kind of adjust it a little. Just pull like the ruffle pieces down a bit so they're kind of evenly distributed. And you may need to readjust this again when you go to clip it on something. But now we have this. So if I had a page tab, this could be a fun thing to attach to. I mean, it would also be fun as like a spine dangle. You could also rust your safety pins now, just like you can rust a paper clip using vinegar, and then like vinegar and water, and then take them out and let them sit in the air and kind of oxidize. So yeah, that's just another fun little technique. So now let's go back to this card. So what I want to do now is just trim the excess bits that are hanging off so that we just neaten it up. And again, you could purposely make it longer if you were making like a pocket and you wanted to have something kind of like hanging off. So I'm just going to stitch around, then I'll be right back. We are all stitched around. So I think that was fun. So there's 3 fun little kind of ways that you can use some of this fun tape for a sewing themed way of making ephemera. So that's it for me for today, and I hope you enjoyed this little Stitcher's Habadashery segment. Take care, and we'll talk again soon. Bye for now.